Hey there, clan, and welcome to Warriors Geeky News, where occasionally I do these to talk about a little bit of geeky news that came out either recently or relatively quickly. In today's installment, I'm going to be talking about one piece of news that caught my interest today: the possibility of a Witcher movie series. Let's dive into this, shall we? That is correct, actually. In an article written by GameSpot, apparently the same production team behind the Mummy movie franchise has picked up the rights and is possibly working on getting a Witcher movie to us as soon as 2017, so 2 years away. Now, from the press article, there is going to be the team that brought us, basically the production team behind the Mummy movies. You know, the one starring Brendan Fraser, which I personally like. They're enjoyable, silly movies, but also a Polish-based film company who helped make the trailers for Halo 5 Guardians and also the Witcher trial trailer, the trailer that involves Yennefer. That trailer, which is absolutely outstanding. So there is a team involved who are familiar with the Witcher series. Now, first of all, let me just reiterate this also fact that article does make it clear. I will leave a link in the description. You can go and check it out for yourself. But the movie that is currently in the works, and it might never get made, but it is an interesting, is based on the book series by Andrzej Sapkowski. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I still can't pronounce it to this day. But it is based on the books, not so much the games. So it is going to be different from the games, no doubt about it. Apparently, from the press release that has been released, it's going to not be a direct creation from the books. It's actually going to be basing on the themes and also nature of the lesser evils, and this book in particular, The Last Wish. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this book, if you're only a fan of the Witcher games, this isn't a one continuous story. This is a series of short stories. In fact, it's actually my personal favourite one short story book I've ever read that concentrate on the character of Geralt of Rivia. This is, from what we've been able to gather, they're going to be taking the themes from this, which is the lesser of two evils. Geralt is a character in the books, at least from what I've read, who is very much a neutral-based character. You pay him to do a job, he will do a job, but at the same time he will also protect his friends. Very similar to how he acts in The Witcher, depending on your choices. Now, firstly, I'm going to say this, I'm actually rather excited for this news. I've always wondered that if we would ever get a Witcher-based movie or even TV series. Now, there is actually already a Witcher TV series that was made, movie, I believe, that was made in Poland. I haven't seen it, but apparently it's not that good. Maybe I'll check it out at a later date. But this is possibility for The Witcher to get the big Hollywood treatment and be a very successful franchise. Now, this is most likely due to the popularity of the games, but also the popularity of the books, which are extremely popular in Poland and are now getting more popular all over the world. I'm actually rather excited. The main problem I have, however, is of course the Hollywood effect. If it's not done right, this movie could be completely and utter trash. It could ruin the chance for The Witcher to be up there with some of the greatest fictional settings and characters of all time. It could be that if it was done right, the Witcher series of movies, if that is what they have planned, could be an amazing set of movies to rival Lord of the Rings. And of course, unfortunately, I don't know how watered down this will be. That's a major fact. The Witcher series is not a friendly series. There's no overall good. The series' main message overall, at least the books that I've read The Last Wish and about half of the Blood Elves, is there might be monsters in this world, but the worst monsters are people. Like, that is something that a message that they've tried to come across a lot in the series, and the games did an excellent job in translating that and showing you that while we might have monsters like harpies and vile, despicable creatures in this land, the worst monsters are people. Us. And the lesser of two evils is normally a common thread in the games and also the books, at least. So I actually am rather excited for this, and I want this to be good. They're just going to have to get the right team, the right staff, and of course the right casting. Now, I don't have any ideas who I would want to play the iconic role of Geralt of Rivia, as that is the only role that has been confirmed will be in the movies, i.e. The Witcher. There's been no confirmation. It's still very early days, but I have a few people in mind. One in particular, Matthew Mercer. If only. It'd be an amazing thing. And by the way, he made that out for himself. He's a fan. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I want to see this. So I want to ask you out there, clan, what are your thoughts on this news? Are you excited for the aspect idea of a Witcher movie? And of course, who would you cast as the iconic Witcher? Geralt of Rivia. I'm going to say one last thing before I end this. While I think this could be an amazing movie, I would love to see a Witcher TV series. That's how I think it would be a lovely adaptation. But that's just me. Other than that, that's really all I wanted to say on the aspect. So, other than that, I thank you for watching. As always, I'm Scottish Warrior 82. I'll see you all next time. Ciao for now.